Kitten trapped at the bottom of the dumpster. That day, I was out making deliveries like any other day. The street was quiet, with only the sound of cars and the wind, until a small sound reached my ears, a faint, hoarse cry of a kitten. It wasn't the usual meow of a cat, but the sound of pure desperation.
Yeah.
I stopped and
Oh my
listened more
goodness.
closely. The sound was
Oh
coming
my
from a big
goodness.
dumpster at the corner of the street.
Oh my goodness.
I bent down, trying to peer inside, and then my heart sank. At the very bottom, a tiny kitten had its head stuck tightly through a narrow hole in a piece of metal. Its eyes were wide open, full of fear, yet pleading for help. I immediately called the local animal rescue team. They told me to stay put, that they'd be there soon. While I was waiting, a nearby engineer who had been working close by rushed over. Without a second thought, he jumped in to help. We worked together, trying to calm the kitten while figuring out how to free it. I can still remember his voice as he gently reached in and worked to remove the plastic around the kitten's neck. "It's okay, little one. Almost there." And then, click! The piece of plastic fell away. The kitten was free. Both of us let out a sigh of relief, as if a heavy weight had just been lifted off our chests. The little one was a stray. I knew there was a mother cat nearby raising a few kittens, and I was sure it would find its way back to her. I just set it down on the ground and watched it run off its tiny legs, trembling but filled with determination. There are a lot of stray cats in this area. Whenever I see them, I always leave a little extra food as a reminder to myself that sometimes even the smallest act of kindness can change an entire world for a tiny life. That day, I continued my delivery route, but the desperate cry I had heard at first had turned into a warm memory, a reminder that kindness always has a place, even in the dirtiest and darkest of places. You know, sometimes a meeting that seems like pure coincidence can completely change the way we see kindness. If the story of the kitten trapped at the bottom of the dumpster is proof that even the smallest act can save a life, then the next story will show you sometimes love doesn't just heal the body, it can bring back to life a soul that seemed forever closed off from the world. This is the journey of Apollo, a scruffy, hopeless feral cat who transformed into a blue-eyed beauty that could melt anyone's heart. I had never seen a cat so utterly alone. His eyes, or rather, the place where his eyes should have shone, were hidden under thick crusts of infection. Everything about him told me he had never known the kindness of a human hand. Apollo, when I first met him, was nothing more than a fragile frame of bones, trembling in a bush, swallowed by the darkness of fear. His infection was so severe he couldn't see me. I tried circling behind him, hoping to come from a less threatening angle. But for a cat who can't see, his hearing was razor sharp. Just my breath made him flinch and pull away. We moved side to side, front to back, caught in a tense little dance between the one who wanted to save and the one who didn't know he needed saving. Finally, I reached over the top and lifted him gently. He didn't fight, didn't claw, just trembled and let it happen. Not because he trusted me, but because he had no strength left to resist. In that moment, I thought, poor thing, you're too tired to even be afraid. We placed Apollo in a small crate so he couldn't hide and started treating him for mange right away. I knew there were crystal blue eyes under those crusts, he just needed a chance. But at first unable to see, he curled into himself whenever I touched him, as if the whole world was only made of things that could hurt him. The days that followed were not easy. Apollo couldn't find his litter box, so I had to bathe him every single day. I'd gently flip him over, clean every bit of fur around his tail and bottom. It wasn't treats or cuddles that built our trust. It was in those moments he hated the most, but needed the most to get better.
Eyes a little bit more, so we are.
That's gonna come off already.
Then came the little victories. One day he used the litter box on his own. Another day he came to lie on the bed, pressing into my hand for strokes.
Good morning from Apollo.
When I ran my fingers down his back, he'd lift his hips and glance back with those eyes. Those same eyes everyone thought would never see the light again.
And other than the diagnosis, he had a good day. He is actually really happy to be home.
At first, we feared he'd lose both eyes, but miraculously, his right eye healed. It's not perfect, but it's enough for him to run and play with the kittens. Watching him dart through the house, I knew every scratch on my hands, every sleepless worry, every ounce of effort, it was all worth it. Now, it's hard to even think of letting him go. Apollo isn't just a cat we rescued, he's family. He's a piece of our hearts. Maybe this story isn't only about a scruffy feral cat turning into a blue-eyed beauty. Maybe it's a reminder that sometimes all a living being needs is a single chance to be loved. And when you give that chance, you won't just change their life, you'll change your own. You know, sometimes the smallest, most unexpected moments can touch our hearts in ways we never imagined. A tiny kitten trapped at the bottom of a dumpster, trembling in fear. A scruffy feral cat, his eyes almost robbed of light. Both shared one thing in common: a single helping hand, offered at the right moment, changed their entire world. The kitten's story proves that even the simplest act can save a fragile life. And Apollo's journey shows that love doesn't just heal the body, it can awaken a soul that once shut itself off from the world. These little beings may never say thank you in words, but in their eyes, their steps, and their very presence, you'll find the deepest gratitude. If you believe kindness is worth sharing, hit like and share so more people can be inspired. And if you've ever witnessed or experienced an act of kindness that moved you, tell us in the comments. Who knows? Your story might touch someone's heart and remind them that there's still so much good in this world.